Hello and welcome. I am Raziel. Of course I am, because that's who I always will be. And so last week I did the Goblin Whiz, mainly because it's funny to say Whiz. Now today we're doing basically the Ratkin Warlock. Now one of the reasons I actually chose this model in particular for this week is because it's part of a two-player set of the War in the Holds, which has Ratkins and Goblins. So that being the first box I bought for Kings of War, that would mean I had both these models. And I honestly, to be frank, I actually got that box for the Ratkin. I'm a big fan of Skaven, was a big fan of Skaven in Warhammer Fantasy, so Ratkin really appealed to me. And that's kind of the reason I really do like it. And so this is the Ratkin character, Twitch Kenia, well, you can see it there. And as you can see, barely here, he is £10. And honestly, he's a really nice looking model. Again, he was really fun to paint. And what you can't really see here, because they're not doing backs, is there's a rat on his head here as well. It's a nice little detail for the Warlock to have. And I like how his wand's made out of bone and it's all twisted, and you've got the glowing stone up there. This looks like a proper Warlock. He's savage, he's vicious, he has this sort of thing on his back. I don't know what it does, probably helps his power of some sort. And you've got lots of really nice details on him. One thing I did like about this model is that you've got the two main incisors there, and if you look at the molars, they're also overgrown. It gives him that really savage, almost ugly look, which is missing from a lot of models. He's also holding a bone knife there, which again is pretty damn cool. And it's a really nice looking model, and it's really fun. I like the detail in the fur. And fur is kind of difficult to do at the best of times, and it can look kind of shoddy. But I gotta say, Mantic kind of pulled this off with this model. This is a really nice looking model. It has that real Ratkin, dirty rat look sort to him. He looks vicious and savage as well, and he's even got big muscles, which kind of makes me laugh. Like, he's a Skaven, well, he's a Ratkin, which means very cowardly, but he's also, he's built like Rambo. He's the Terminator. It's just something that amused me while I was actually painting him. And I think it's fantastic. There's lots of cool little details in here. And I'll tell you what was really cool is, once again, it's a static model. You can see he's in a static pose, but there is still so much movement here. But you can see he's raising that up and he's about to stretch his arm out because of that slight bend. And there's that finger there is slightly put back, so it's not all in line with the other fingers, which means he is raising it up. It's little details like that that really appeal to me in models. Again, I like the little rat on his head. It's just a kind of funny little thing which Mantic have put into the model, which I think is kind of cool. And the little skull belt buckle, which is a rat's head, not a normal skull. A really cool little thing, which nice little bit of detail, which kind of really adds to the model. How you'd have the evil good guys having skull belt buckles of human skulls, but he's got a rat skull. It's kind of a funny twist on the scheme of things, on the theme, I should say, not scheme. And kind of really nice looking. I think he looks kind of cool. He is a nice model. He was fun to paint. He was easy to build, and yeah, I've got no complaints. He's just a really nice looking model, and for a tenner, you can't really complain, honestly. Now let's look at his rules. Now, as always, I will be doing the Kings of War rules and the one-page rules. Again, I've got to say that twice, because I think that one-page rules is a fantastic game. Kings of War is a fantastic game, and you don't have to use Games Workshop models for one-page rules. You can use almost any other models. I've got a video coming up with that in mind, by the way. It's just going to be units from games you can use in one-page rules and what you can use them as, covering all sorts of games, historical, fantasy, sci-fi. Depends on which one it's, Kings of War or Firefight. So this is the Warlock. List invalid because I was being stupid. And basically he is a spellcaster of 2, which is pretty cool. Melee of 5+, of course. Defense of 4+, of course, as well, because he's thick. He's not going to be taking that many wounds. 2 wounds and an absolute coward with a 9/11. Again, it's a nice model. It's nice thematic rules for a Ratkin. He's coward, he's weak, he's not going to hit hard, and he's going to run away at the last chance, sort of. At the first chance, he's going to go like, I'm off, bye-bye. He's just going to do it. Yes, no, he's not going to stay by. He's not going to, last. He's 40 points, which is really cheap, by the way. And I think it's nice to have him as such a low points cost. You can add other spells here, such as Lightning Bolt and Heal. So Lightning Bolt would be pretty cool for a spellcaster. Obviously a bit of ranged combat for him, which would be really nice. So I think that would be cool. That would be the one I would use. I'd definitely use some sort of ranged combat, because he is a melee character. And Kings of War and most fantasy games tend to be very melee focused. So having an extra bit of ranged combat is always going to help you out. And I think it's kind of cool. And again, it's nice and cheap, both points wise and financially wise. Yeah, you can't go wrong with him to lead your army. And plus, he is also in the 2-player starter set, War in the Holes, which makes him a good bargain if you wish to go down that route, which has like loads of Skaven, Ratkin I should say, and some big rats as well in there as well. So yeah, it's a nice little box. Now, one-page rules, as always, like I said, I'm going to do that. It is the Battle Master at 45 points, but you've got to add 30 points for the Warlock. Obviously, got to add the extra points. He has an AP of 1 and an attack of 3, so, he's going to hit a lot, but not really that hard. He has a quality of 4 and a defense of 4. Again, he's going to probably miss half the time and probably be killed very quickly as well with both those. But he does have 3 runes. Kind of funny, he has the Fearless for a Ratkin or a Ratman, which is in the one-page rules, Ratman. And I think it's kind of funny that he has that Fearless rules. It's just something that amuses me. And he's, like I said, these are nice basic rules. And that's the one thing about one-page rules. It's a very basic rule set. You're not going to really worry about too much about when it comes to special rules. You have what it says, and it does what it does. It does exactly what it says on the tin. And this really does make him a decent character at 75 points minimum. He is a spellcaster, well, artificer, and it will really do your army a lot of good. And there you go. That's today's video. If you wish to save money on your wargaming, such as the models from Mantic, check out Warlord Games down below. Get up to 20% off and free delivery after £20. And yeah, that does actually help the channel, by the way, but I do get paid. And I wouldn't put them down if I didn't use them myself. I often order from them. Actually, it's who I only order from now. To be honest with you, anything I want to get, I get through them. Sorry about that. And there is also Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas, etc. All that cool, fun, geeky stuff. Whichever. And there's my merch, t-shirt, cups. I need to start putting this stuff up. T-shirt, cups, etc. My comics as well. Go and check them out. And there's Skyforge. Don't forget Skyforge. Good friend of mine. Let's get him up that Google algorithm. And finally, Patreon, because business. Bye-bye.